Testing, testing. All right, we are live. Hello, and welcome to the Afrocentric Woman. Welcome to the channel. We're going to be getting started here in just a moment. Well, I mean, we started, but we're going to get into the video. I'm coming here today because I was kind of feeling like this a while ago, and was thinking about coming on to explain how when Umar exits off this planet, like I'm not gonna cry any tears. I'm not gonna feel sad. I'm not gonna send any condolences. None of that. None of that. And I know that a lot of people probably will because people feel bad when people leave the planet. And there's all kinds of horrible people that we try to find some redeeming qualities, or we try to make the best of. We try to find something like nice to say, or we try to find something positive about them when they die. Even if they didn't deserve it, even if they don't deserve like a decent eulogy, they were really like good for nothing people like their entire lives, and they caused a lot of pain and destruction. We'll just pretend like they're a good person when they pass away. That's what I've noticed. And I'm not doing that. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not doing it. I mean, I would have thought the diabetes would take him out. I would think that the high blood pressure will take him out. I would think that his lifestyle and I would think that his lifestyle would take him out of here. Um, but maybe he will take himself out of here. I don't know. I mean, either he's gonna slowly take himself out of here, or he's gonna rapidly take himself out of here. But nonetheless, like he's on his way out, and time is ticking and running out for this guy. And the same thing for Kevin Samuels. I mean, I did not shed not one tear. I don't care. I basically danced on his grave. I celebrated. I was happy. I was elated. Life has been better since Kevin Samuels died for black women. Life has been better for black women since Kevin Samuels died. I'm not saying that there are not other people creating that type of content similar to Kevin Samuels. Of course, there are. There were people creating it when he was alive. There have been people who are creating it after he has died, but not to the level that he was creating it. Not to the, they did not have the impact that he had on the everyday black women. I mean, like domestic violence rates literally went up while Kevin Samuels was alive. Random assaults against women in general, and especially against black women, went up while Kevin Samuels was alive. If you talk to the average black woman, wherever in this country, whether she's in on the West Coast, the East Coast, the Midwest, the South, the Northwest, Canada, wherever, if you talk to the average black woman who was out there interacting and dating, and you talk to her about her experience with males who were quoting Kevin Samuels, talking about Kevin Samuels, following him, and how they were treated, sometimes physically assaulted. I mean, I know there's times where, I mean, I have some stories on my channel where um, I've been out and about just minding my business, and these males who listen to these like podcasts and Kevin Samuels and all of that would like come up and just say the most egregious things to you. And it's just like, okay, I'm just here minding my business. And you've come up and you are presenting information that I don't want to hear, that you're unwelcomed, etc. So I say all that to say that the world is better without him on it. Without him here on the planet, the world has been better. And that's why I cried no tattoo tears, and I don't feel no type of ways about it. I think it's very important. Like, I'm very interested in exploring the topic of selective compassion. Like, You have to have a way to combine compassion and empathy with intellect and discernment, with judgment and rigor. You have to have a filter or a barrier or a what am I trying to say? Not a barrier, but a boundary by which you are willing to extend compassion and empathy to those that are deserving of it. Now, in some veins, it's like, well, all humanity to some extent is entitled to or worthy of compassion and empathy. Like a little child, a little innocent baby that's just born into the world, they've done nothing wrong. They don't know any better. They're depending on people to take care of them. Like, yeah, those little babies, they definitely deserve compassion and empathy. Um, Even little badass kids deserve compassion and empathy, and young people who are out here, making their mistakes, and to some extent, you can argue that they would too. But at some point, when you are an adult, you are free thinking, you have free will, you have all of your faculties about you. You have the ability to invest your time and energy the way you want to invest it. And if you choose to hurt people over and over and over again, and you feel no ways about it, you have no remorse, you have no regret, you don't stay up at night thinking about the single mom that you scammed. You don't lose any sleep. They be sleeping good at night. You see what I'm saying? They be sleeping good at night, knowing good and well, they're out here scamming and doing people dirty, pulling guns out on family members, um, condemning their own children, bad mouthing their family, bad mouthing their ex, lovers and whatnot, totally undeserving, denying children that, all kinds of stuff. And they be sleeping good at night. They literally have no qualms about it, no reservations, no hesitation, no internal anxiety about what they do. And in that sense, that's when you have to really think, like, to what extent does this person deserve empathy? Because I think that there's a part of us that feels like they project onto us, right, their demonic thinking, and they project that onto us, but at the same time, we project goodwill onto them. And we project that, well, if I give you grace, then you'll give me grace. If I give you empathy, then you'll give me empathy. If I do right by you, you'll do right by me. And everything will be fair and equal. And people who are like good human people don't understand that it don't work like that. People like Umar Johnson, like Kevin Samuels, like Donald Trump, like Elon Musk, like, name your next sociopath. Just, I don't know, name one. Insert sociopath, psychopath. They take kindness for stupidity. This type of person feels like, if I get over on you, and I'm able to get over on you, you deserved to be taken advantage of. And they feel good about it. They feel like that's the way life goes. Really and truly, that's how they feel. And when they do wrong by you and you forgive them, they don't feel gratitude for the forgiveness that you extend. They feel like you are a fucking idiot. Why the fuck would you forgive me? Because I would never forgive you. That's how they feel inside. I mean, it's almost like studying another species, because they operate on totally different Um, they operate on totally different internal rules, and the way that they see the world is very different from regular humans. They truly do not see, when you extend forgiveness, they don't see that as being grateful for it, or like, okay, now that I've gotten this forgiveness, I'm going to do right by this person, or I'm going to atone, or I'm going to make amends, or I'm going to make everything whole. I'm going to repent from my demonic behavior, and I'm going to turn towards righteousness, and I'm going to turn towards uh being good and just and righteous, and doing right by people, paying my way through life, earning my way through life, uh telling the truth, being honest. They don't see it like that. You might see it like that, but they don't see it like that. They just think like, this is a fucking sucker. They forgave me because they're a fucking idiot, and like, now I know for sure I can get over I can get over on this person again, and I'm gonna do it until they finally stop me. Like, they'll never stop themselves. They're a bottomless pit of exploitation. They will take and take and take. And the only way that they will ever stop taking is when the other party puts a stop to it, because there will never be an end to the request or the demand of energy, time, and resources. And they will literally drain all other life forces dry of time, energy, and resources. They want your time, they want your attention, they want your presence, they want your resources, whatever type of resources that you have to give. So, you know, Umar Johnson recently went live talking about self deletion. And, it can go a couple of ways. Now, one thing you got to know about these people, and I'll say this to any woman that's in Umar's life, you need to get away from him. You need to get away from him. Now, I have studied many, many cases of family annihilators. I mean, and it's like, maybe that's why I'm so fucking jaded. Um, maybe that, maybe that's, I don't know, but I have studied an unprecedented amount of like family annihilators, people who self-delete. They self-delete the children, they self-delete they delete the children, they delete the woman, they delete the mama, the grandmama, the auntie, whoever is around. They'll literally burn the house with the children in the house. Like, this has happened. I wish it was like once or twice or five times or even 10 times. There's like hundreds, maybe thousands of these cases of these types of people. So, one of the telltale signs, and even if the guy is not going to self delete, but when he will take the woman out, usually he talks about self deleting first. I mean, it's real, it's eye opening, the correlation between a male engaging in self deletion talk versus a man taking the woman out that's connected to him. Um, I have my theories. I don't know, but I think it has something to do with like, they experience a huge injury when a woman that they feel like they control leaves their orbit. And that's why you saw Umar spiral out of control when, for example, Lene didn't want to fuck with him no more. He just spiraled out of control because he thought that he had her under control, and he thought that he could continue to manipulate her into infinity and beyond. And when that plan foiled, he just spiraled out of control. Um, Really and truly, that was a huge injury for him to lose her. And there's been other women. There's been other women that he's lost along the way. But there aren't that many that he lets get that close to him. Um, because of I think because of this pain, because of the pain, like, on one instant, he don't wanna be left. Most narcissists don't. They don't wanna be abandoned. They have huge abandonment issues. And on the other hand, he knows deep down, he's a fucked up individual that nobody can stand to be around for the long term. He knows that to put up a facade like the mask to actually bring a person in, it's exhausting for the narcissist. It is exhausting to pretend to be caring, to pretend to be charismatic, to pretend to be funny, to pretend to be a regular human. Like, it's exhausting. So they can only keep that up for so long. And when they start to be themselves, despondent, boring, annoyed, disgruntled, angry, you know, all the other psychiatric issues that they may or may not be experiencing, they know that the person, when they discover that, will leave. So, on one hand, it's like, well, I really want somebody to be close to me. But on the other hand, I know I'm fucked up. I'm not willing or able to transform myself into a decent human, so inevitably, I know I'm going to be left. I know that I can't keep anybody close to me for a long time. So you know what? I'm just not going to be close to anybody. And you see people like Umar with no friends, no cousins around, no close family members, no buddies. The only people that he used to have around were the people that he would order around, or people who were dependent upon him some type of way, like Brother Manny, for example, who was probably also addicted to drugs like he is, and they just did drugs together. And Brother Manny was like, just like, not, I'm not going to say he was a yes man, but he was just like an entourage type of person that would just like be around. But he's not able to be friends with anybody who's free thinking and who would challenge him and like hold him accountable, or like speak up and have a voice, and have, be independent. He's unable to have and you could just look and see there's nobody around like that. There's literally nobody around. So let me reel it back, because I want to talk about the self-deleting conversation and the dangers of the women around a man who's speaking like this. Um, a lot of times when males take the woman out, the precursor types of conversation is him saying that he's going to self-delete. Sometimes he's saying that just to reel her back in. Like, if you don't call me, I'm going to hurt myself. If you don't come back over here, I'm going to cut my wrist. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And they use that as a tactic a lot of times. And there's some truth to it. Like, there's some truth to, like, somebody's going to get hurt. And so sometimes the things that they're telling you that they're going to do to themselves is really what they're going to do to you, because they're projecting. So I'm going to blank my brains out. What they're going to do is blank your brains out. There's nothing you can do for a male that is in that place. And I think that a lot of women are arrogant and delusional about their abilities to deal with that situation. And the truth is, you are powerless. You're completely powerless to whatever is going on inside of that guy. Um, your priority is to stay alive yourself. And don't be so sacrificial that you would put your own life on the line because you're trying to save some guy who's hell bent on taking himself out of here. You understand? I mean, you even see it with mothers and their own sons. I mean, I've seen an enormous amount of cases where the son is taking the mama out. There was just a story like not long ago of the son taking the mama out, you know? because she thinks, "Oh, my son, my son, my son, I'm gonna save him," when it's like, "Ma'am, you do not have the tools to stop this child from like this trajectory that they're on." And sometimes I'm not saying child is in a little minor. These may be like men in their like 20s. Because for most schizoaffective disorders, a lot of times they really bloom and make themselves apparent around the age of 20, 21, 22, 20, like early 20s. So leading up to the early 20s, the family is often experiencing major psychiatric problems with the child. They may or young person, I'll say, they may or may not get interventions for the young person. A lot of times, the young people will try to medicate themselves because they're having psychiatric you know, experiences. Maybe they're hearing voices. Maybe they are seeing things that are not there. Maybe they're having impulses that they don't understand and they don't control. And they're not getting any type of intervention or help. So they start, well, if I smoke a lot of weed, if do a lot of this, or if I drink a lot of that, then the voices calm down. I don't see the things. The anxiety comes down, right? But meanwhile, they're experiencing these temporary, what they interpret as relief of the symptoms. Meanwhile, the schizoaffective disorder is ramping up, and it's in full bloom in the early 20s, and then boom, he taking the mama out and sometimes the whole family out. Anyway, I've gone off a side tangent, but what I'm saying is that we just have to be very honest about admitting powerlessness, and also admitting um like not inadequacy, but like inability to meet those needs. Like if you could meet the needs of this person and be their complete and total treatment center and rehabilitation center and like their antidote to the fuckery, then they would have already been healed by now. But no, you keep going to the same pattern over and over, with the person spiraling back out of control. And like, I know for me as a Black woman, I have experienced arrogance in my abilities and what I can do. I have observed other Black women and their arrogance and their delusion and what they think that they can accomplish or what they think that they can do for someone, or the type of effect that they have on someone. And it's feeding some aspect of their ego as well. Well, he says I'm the only one that can fix it. I'm the only one. It's like, I don't know if it's a savior complex, if it's a I want to be controlling of you complex, or I need to feel needed complex. But nonetheless, the end of the road is you going to be taken out too. You going out too. You shall not be saved. Like, this person is on a self-destructive path, they're going to take you out. And clearly, you are not on a self-preservation path if you're engaging with someone who is, it's like getting in the car with someone who's drunk, you know, knowingly, and you're supposedly sober, and you just get in the car with someone who's drunk. And you think that you're going to direct them, you think you're going to be the GPS, and you think you're going to tell them which way to turn and how they're going to do it when they're drunk. No, y'all both finna die. You see what I'm saying? You just happen to be sober, but your ass is about to die too. What I'm saying is, don't get in the car. That's what I'm saying. Don't get in the car. You know, call to do a wellness check. That's something that you can do from afar. You don't have to be engaged with someone to do a wellness check. You can call, you can report them to, a proper agencies and someone who can intervene. You could try to talk to someone that they respect that might have their ear. You can just pray from them from afar, from the safety of your own home, but do not engage. And this is very important for any woman that's around Umar right now. You need to take heed of what I'm saying if this happens to cross your ears, or somebody who knows somebody that's dealing with him. You need to take heed, because he's in a very dangerous state of mind right now. Um, Anytime you're thinking about, even if you're saying, oh, I'm thinking about taking myself out, what you're thinking about is ending life. And it doesn't always have to be the person who's saying that they want to. It could be like whoever is around. You see what I'm saying? You just see this, or at least I have, over and over and over again. I've seen this pattern. Um, I don't feel like Umar and people like him are redeemable. I think that they die like this. Like however way he's thinking, like he will take this way to the grave. He's never gonna have an epiphany and be redeemed. It's never gonna happen. I have a zero, and when I say zero, I mean zero expectation that anything like that would happen. How many psychopaths do you know that are reformed? That are like, oh yeah, I know I'm a psychopath, but like I'm gonna be like a totally like regular empathetic human now from now on because I saw the light. Jesus saved me. Who do you know anybody like that? I mean, have you, or is there any documented history of that ever happening in the written documentation of human society? Has anybody ever seen that? I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Um,
Peace and
so what we're gonna do, we'll see. I'm gonna see how much I can get through this. Um, but I want to go through this video that he has done where he is talking about, he claims that someone has contacted him because and this is not the first time he said this shit. He claims that someone contacted him about self-deleting, and he, I guess instead of just keeping the situation private with this person, decides to go on Instagram Live and talk about it. And supposedly this is a black woman. And he wants to tell all black women that they need to not self-delete. And he just goes, and you just get to see all of the pathology. It's very interesting to me that Umar is just, he's shady, but he's also extremely transparent. He's shisty, but he's also so ignorantly transparent. He tries to, he's just not a good liar, if that makes any sense. He's not a good, and I'm not a good liar. He's not a good liar. He has the gift of gab, but if you speak narc, he just spill he he spills all of his pathology for you to see. He shows it all to you. I mean, he shows it all to you. He cannot, I have not seen him have a conversation ever in life where he can't talk about food, sex, or drugs in that conversation. If he speaks for more than 15 minutes, he's going to talk about food, sex, and or drugs. That's how transparent he is. Like if you don't know, now you know. That's what he's about, and that's what he's going to give you. So when we get into this video, he's going to just tell you exactly what his pathology is. He's going to tell you exactly the inner workings of his demonic mind and psychotic mind. Bless his heart. I mean, I do have a slither of compassion for him. I just don't care if he die. Like, I don't care if he dies. I don't think that the world will be missing out. I mean, I don't think the world will be missing anything when he goes away. Has he been a dad? No. Has he been a good brother to his siblings? No. Has he been a good son to his parents? No. Has he been a good grandparent, a good grandson? No. He kept his grandmother from seeing his mother. That was the one wish she had before she died. He's a piece of shit grandson. He's a piece of shit dad. He's a piece of shit son. He's a piece of shit sibling. He's just a piece of shit. So, like, when he goes, what will the world be missing? Who will cry? I mean, maybe his mama will feel sad if she remembers him. I don't know if she has dementia. I don't even know if she will remember him. I don't know. His dad is a fucking narc. He doesn't give a shit about anybody. He's not going to miss him. What has he contributed to humanity? Seriously, what? I mean, I'm not saying I'm some Nobel laureate, but like, I'm there for my child. I'm there for my child. Like, I try to do the right thing. I got my little issues. I'm not Mary Magdalene, but I do what I can do. I try to be helpful to my family. I try to be helpful to my grandparents. I wish I could do more. I'm in a position now where I can do a little bit more for them, but I try to make them proud and do the right thing and just live my life. And the most important thing is I try to do no harm to others. Like, even if I can't, you know, do what it like if I can't like do something spectacular, I just try to live in a way that I kind of don't do harm to others. Like, try not to litter. I try not to use more resources than what I really need. You know, I try to just be decent. That's that's the point. So I'm sure when I leave up out of here, there's gonna at least be a handful of people that'll miss me. But who will miss him? Who will miss him? And I was thinking the other day, like, even when the rumor was going around that he got sick, I think that was a lie. But I was like, okay, yeah, he's on his way up out of here because of the lifestyle. Like, I can't imagine that this guy is going to the doctor and getting a checkup. I just can't imagine he's doing it. Like, going to the doctor, like getting a colonoscopy. Listen, Gen X men are not living as long as the generation before them. Gen X men are not living as long as baby boomer men. That's a fuck. Like, Gen X men should be like, like, hey, what the fuck? Like, we're dying. We need to like look at our lifestyle and see what the hell is going on. But Gen X men are like not living as long as the baby boomer men, at least in the black community. They're the Gen X men, a lot of them are leaving in their 50s and their 60s. They're not making it to their 70s. They're just like rolling up out of here. And so, it's like at some point the Gen X men are going to have to grapple with the fact that they need to deal with their health. But like, you can't make me believe that Umar Johnson is going to get a colonoscopy, going to get lab work, going to get his feet looked at. That's probably got toes that need to be amputated and everything else because the untreated diabetes. I'm sure he has high blood pressure, all kinds of fucking problems. You can't make me believe that this guy is going to the practitioner and getting a regular workup and then going to the different specialists that he needs to go to manage his health. You can't make me believe that he doing it. Because he can't even do the most basic shit in life, like clean up your fucking room, wash your ass, put some lotion on your crusty ass hands. You know what I'm saying? He can't even do the basic shit that you would teach your adolescent child to do to take care of themselves, like to cook a proper meal and know how to put a meal together, a starch, a protein, some vegetables. This dude can't even do that. So you want to make me believe that he going to the dentist and getting you know what I'm saying, getting checked out. I can see him getting veneers, but I can't see him getting his teeth cleaned regularly because veneers is all about, like it says, veneer, facade. it looked good. I can see him getting some veneers, but I can't see him doing the work of scheduling regular dental cleanings and getting your teeth clean, going to the doctor and getting lab work and following up on any type of issues that you may have, and going to talk to a dietitian or whoever you need to talk to, and then going to the getting your prescription sent to the pharmacy, going to go pick up the prescription and then refill the prescription on a regular basis and keep taking that shit, and then go back to the doctor, get checked out again, see if you need to change your dosage, da 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 da. Go to the psychiatrist, get an evaluation, get on whatever type of meds you. He not doing none of that shit. He not doing none of that. He just living, running and gunning, and not realizing that you're 50, almost 52 years old. And you can't just keep running the world the way you've been doing. But that's what he been doing. So I'm thinking, yeah, he can't last that much longer. He probably on his way up out of here, like Kevin Samuels. He was turning the heat down too. So but now he talking about taking himself out. It's either a ploy to try to reel somebody in. He's trying to get sympathy, and or it could be a combination of all these things. He truly is having these thoughts. And the scam is really just too much at this point. Because this shit has been going on for like, what, 7, 8 years now? And I'm sure that Uncle Sam wants his tax. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's listen to this shit.
Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifa Tunde Oguntade, coming to you live and direct from the streets of Camden, New Jersey. Dirty Jersey, where you at? Coming to you live and direct from the streets of Camden, New Jersey. Dirty Jersey, South Jersey, where you at? I just wanted to go live for a minute. I know I don't go live often these days because I'm too busy trying to get the school ready for our children. See, institution builders can't be on social media all day long. Institution builders can't be on social media all day long. Institution builders can't be on social media every day, all day. But I want to let my South Jersey family know that I'm doing a free Black Parent Know Your School Rights Boot Camp in Camden, New Jersey today. If you are a Black mother, Black father, grandparent, auntie, uncle, big brother, big sister, if you are a child advocate, parent advocate, education advocate, if you just want to learn how to fight back against the miseducation machine regarding our children, pull up in Camden, New Jersey today. Pull up in Camden, New Jersey today. We will be at the Imani Community Fellowship Building. We will be at the Imani Community Fellowship Building, 3901 Westfield Avenue in Camden, New Jersey. 3901 Westfield Avenue in Camden, New Jersey today, 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. Today, 4 p.m. until 8 p.m., we will be at the Imani Community Fellowship Building, 3901 Westfield Avenue. Camden, New Jersey, if you don't know how to protect your children from special ed, if you don't know how to protect your children in special ed, you need to be at my training today. That's right.
But Umar, you can't protect your children from anything because you're not in their lives. Like, what are you supposed to be teaching anybody about? And is it like it's that same regurgitated information, the same, and I don't even call it the same regurgitated propaganda, the same bullshit from like years ago. Nothing has changed. Still talking about that same shit. There's nothing to spend. There's so many productive things you could do with 4 hours of your day that do not involve listening to Umar bullshit. You could be doing a whole lot of stuff. You could be spending time with your children, going to the park, going to the grocery store, spending time in your, I mean, it's just anything. Hell, taking a nap. It's anything that you could be doing besides spending 4 hours with this fool.
Salem, New Jersey, Willingboro, New Jersey, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Trenton, Newark, Jersey City, Elizabeth. I'm talking New Jersey. I'm also talking Philadelphia. You're only right over the bridge. West Philly, North Philly, Southwest Philly, Germantown, Mount Airy, Chester, Darby, Yaden. If you are a parent with a child in special ed, if you a parent with a child who's not in special ed but catching hell through the school system, if you the parent of a child who's always being suspended, if you the parent of a child who they want to put on psychiatric medication, today we're going to get down to the get down. Today we're going to get down to the get down. Today is part one. Next Thursday, April 16th is part.
And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about people delaying getting their children help. It's like I think that before, I mean, millennial parents, I'm a millennial parent. Millennial parents are a lot better at trying to meet the needs of their children, whatever it is that their child needs. If your child is autistic, if your child has ADHD, if your child has bipolar, whatever it is that your child needs. If your child has sensory issues, a lot of millennial parents, there's a higher percentage of us that are willing and trying to meet our children's needs, whatever they may present themselves at being. Now, previous generations wanted to kind of ignore things, or, maybe there's certain cultures within the Black community that want to try to ignore things like, well, if I just don't acknowledge that my child is a little special, as some Black folks would say, then it'll just go away, or I'm not going to bring attention to it. I'm just going to not acknowledge this thing. All of that time, the child is not getting the intervention and the support that they need. And they're not getting the coping skills and the life skills that they need to succeed into adulthood. And if your child has a psychiatric issue, like I was speaking about earlier, and then they may start self-medicating because they haven't received any type of intervention or help or support from a professional medical doctor, a licensed psychologist, and a whole care team put together to support your child. It's not a one and done thing. It's not like a one person is calling all the shots. Like most, a real parent that's involved with their child will tell you that it's a lot of people working together to support your child. You got the school, the teacher, the school nurse, you got, a therapist if you have one, your pediatrician, you've got, at least for my kid, I've got a dentist and an orthodontist, and they share notes with each other, and we're just trying to get her, smile where she can be confident and not have any dental issues. So it's a multi it's a multi it's a multi-pronged system and a multidisciplinary system to set up a care team for your child. So when he's like, "Oh, these evil teachers are trying to get your child on psychiatric medicine," uh, teachers do not recommend medications in 2026. Now, I realize he was in the schools back in the early 2000s, you know, late 90s, early 2000s. I don't know what they were doing at that time. Hell, I was in school my damn self. So I don't know. But they don't do that right now. Like, that's not the standard practice. So if he's given a presentation teaching parents or telling parents, don't let the teachers recommend psychiatric medicines to your children, that information is completely irrelevant because teachers do not recommend psychiatric medicine nor any type of medication to a child. That is not in anywhere in the protocol. Like, they don't even know they wouldn't even know what, you know what I'm saying? It's like I I don't know how to, like, they just, it just doesn't work like that. They can say that we think your child should be evaluated because I notice that they're having outbursts, or I notice that they are drifting off, or I notice that this or that is happening in the classroom, and we don't know what is going on. We think we should do an evaluation to figure out what it is. Okay, Umar is completely and totally against any type of evaluation. So, if you're completely against evaluations, you will never know if your child has a hearing problem, if your child has an eyesight problem, if your child has a processing problem, if your child is dyslexic. You would never know if your child has a math learning disorder, you would, or disability. You would not know if your child had a sensory disorder. You would not know if your child was autistic on the spectrum. You would never know because Umar says don't get evaluated. Just don't get evaluated. Reject all evaluations because evaluations are evil. When all evaluations do is they're just a bunch of assessments and observations to try to learn about the child. At the end of the evaluation process, you receive information and recommendations and like findings. Then you take those findings and you take those to a medical doctor. The medical doctor has their own independent evaluations, and they also look at the findings from the school system or the independent evaluator. And then they put that all together and then they give a diagnosis. It's not the teacher giving the friggin' diagnosis, nor is it the teacher providing recommendations for medications in 2026. It just don't work like that.
Two. What we cover today, we will not cover next Thursday. What we cover today, we will not cover next Juneteenth at Gmail. Time, and I'm coming to Hampton, Virginia in a long time. I'm coming to Dothan, Alabama for the Juneteenth Jubilee Dothan at barbed wire. But there must be a place for coons because the ancestors allowed you to be. Let me speak to
Oh,
the
this is
coon.
okay. Let me.
I'll go any
Oh, hold
further.
on, hold on, hold on,
Barbed wire, but there must
hold
be
on.
productive doing nothing for you. Juneteenth Jubilee Dothan
Okay,
at
it's coming up.
gmail.com. Juneteenth Jubilee Dothan at gmail.com. That is Juneteenth Jubilee Dothan at gmail.com. Let me say this to the Negro Peons in the chat one time. Let me say this to the Negro Peons in the chat one time. Let me say this to the uncouth coons of the chat right now. Let me speak to the coons. I'm not sure why the ancestors allowed your mother to bring you forth in this world. I'm not sure. I have
Now, this is fascinating because I really feel like what he feels is, why did the ancestors let my mother bring me into this world? Later on, I'm going to go ahead and be a spoiler alert because I don't know how much of this I'm going to get through. I'm going to be a spoiler alert. He's going to say that I know your mother told you that she wish she never had you. This is, I believe, something Umar's mother told him. I believe that Umar's mother told him, I wish I never had you. I knew a man like this. I dated a man like this. This man was deeply fucking scarred. This man was deeply fucked up. His mother told him that she wished she never had him. At that time, I was in my 20s. Knowing what I know now, the moment he said that, I would have just left the situation because it's like irredeemable. Like it's almost like when people like give the kid up for adoption and the child always feels like that hole in their heart. They feel that like, oh my God, my mother like didn't want me. They feel rejected and abandoned. It's like very similar when your mother tells you, I wish I never had you. That's words that they can't be rescinded. You can't take that shit back. That is a soul crushing and soul it's a soul wound. It's a wound to the soul of the child when you tell them, I wish I never had you. I wish you never fucking existed. Now, anybody else can say that to you. Like, I wish you were never born. Like, if a random person says, I wish you were never born, it fucking sucks, but you move on, you get over it. But when your mama tell you, I wish I never had you, that shit hits totally different. And I am speculating, and I believe that actually Umar mama told him that. That's where he's getting this from.
The slightest idea why the Almighty allowed your mother to push you out into this universe. I have no idea why you coons were born. I just want to be honest right now. All praise to the ancestors. But I want to be honest, if I may. I don't know why some of you dusty, crusty, goofy, never serious, not.
This is all things about Umar. He's dusty, he's crusty, he's never serious, and he's goofy. He's super goofy. Remember the Bok Bok Loosey Goosey? He's a goofy doof. He's a goofy doof. Seriously. He's talking about himself.
Productive, doing nothing for you community coons. I don't know why
You don't do anything for the community. What have you've never done anything productive in Wilmington. You you're wasting space. You're wasting resources. You haven't done anything productive for the community. You haven't provided any scholarships. You haven't provided any like youth camps. You haven't um done anything productive in Wilmington or Philadelphia. So you're talking about yourself. This guy.
ancestors allowed you to come through. But I tell you what, we have a place in Minnesota called Coon Rapids. Yes, we do. There is a city in Minnesota called Coon Rapids, and we're going to buy us some land in Coon Rapids. Oh, yes, we are, brothers and sisters. I have a solution to the coon crisis. I have a solution to the coon crisis. We're going to buy 1,000 acres.
Okay, it's important to note that he's talking about solution. I have a solution for this. I have a solution for that, because that is going to come up later in this video.
In Coon Rapids, Minnesota, and we're going to go around and we're going to start kidnapping coons. We're going to start kidnapping coons, and we're going to have them transported to Coon Rapids. We need a town just for the coons. They're going to have a coon hospital and a coon bank, a coon school, a coon police department.
This is interesting to note because he's fantasizing about having an internment camp or an ICE camp or a Holocaust camp. Like, all of these people think the same. I want to round up all of my opposition and I want to put them in a chamber. I want to round up all of my opposition and I want to put them in a prison camp. It's a similar, Umar just doesn't have the resources to activate his fantasy of like oppressing people in internment camps. He just doesn't have the charisma, the ability, the resources to do it. But if he did, he would do it. He's no different than there are people in history who have the same pathology as Umar, who've done it. They fantasized about it, they visualized it, and they did it. They did intern people. They did put them in internment camps or plantations or whatever. They did it. There are people in office right now who have this vision, and they're doing it to some level, and want everybody to have impunity. They're going to be like writing off pardons, and it's just like complete lawlessness. And that's kind of like what I was trying to talk about at the beginning of the video, where I think that we as a people get down the road of this level of depravity because we don't have a hard stop of like, no, absolutely not. This is unacceptable in society and we will starve you. And women play an important role. Stop fucking these guys. Stop. Stop procreating with these guys. Stop cooking these guys meals. Stop dealing with them. Starve them. They should be excommunicated from human society. Because when we allow this level of depravity, we get Trump in office. That's the end road of this type of shit. Because we think like, oh, well, we'll negotiate and we'll work things out and we will figure it out. And the democratic process, they don't give a shit about your fucking democratic process. They piss on the fucking Constitution. They take a shit on it. They don't give a fuck about none of that shit. They only care about what they're trying to do. You care about the Constitution. I care about the Constitution. I care about the rule of law. They don't give a shit about any of that stuff. It's all par for the course. It's all obstacles in their way of implementing what it is that they want. And this guy right here is fantasizing about interning people, and he's giving you a glimpse into his inner workings. And I think that people are entertained by this type of stuff to some degree. Like, ha ha ha, this is kind of funny. This shit is real. Like, this is really what this guy desires. He would, if he had the opportunity to round you up and enslave you, he would do it. The only thing stopping him from doing it is his position in society. He's in the margins, in the bottom rung of society, with no power and very little resources. But if he were in a different position, he would do it.
It's going to be made out just for coons. It's going to be a prison. It will be a prison with electrocution barbed wire. It will be a prison with electrocution barbed wire, but there must be a place for coons because the ancestors allowed you to be born. So you have a place. There is a place for you. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the place is, but the ancestors allowed you to come through. The ancestors used the ashe of the Almighty and allowed you completely unproductive, degenerate, dysfunctional, artificial African.
All of those things explain Umar. Dysfunctional. What else did he say? I don't remember the other ones, but dysfunctional was one of the most prominent ones. Yes, that is you. That's you.
To come forth into the world. So we're going to get you on up out of here to Coon Rapids. We're going to get you on up out of here to Coon Rapids. But before I go any further, Camden, New Jersey, I'm in the building. I want one of my Camden queens to bring me a pot of mac and cheese. Camden.
You got to be a next level of desperate. Talking about dusty and crusty. You are online begging for food. You're online begging for food. That's what you're doing. You got your raggedy ass up, got online, and you're begging for food. What kind of man? Why can't you go into the grocery store and buy the macaroni and cheese? Either you can buy it, you go to like Whole Foods or something, you can go to the pre-made area and it's already there for you. You can call a caterer and purchase it, or you can go and buy the macaroni noodles and buy some cheese and buy the butter and everything else that you need and make your own fucking macaroni and cheese. I, in 2026, in all the years that I've ever have been listening to Umar, I've never heard him talk about doing anything for a woman. I've never heard him talk about doing anything proactive for his child. Like, hey, everybody, I just bought my baby a princess castle and I'm about to mail it to her. When they were little, I know that they're big now, they're big girls now. But I'm saying like 10 years ago when they were little bitty girls, I never heard Umar saying, I'm sending my baby a baby doll. I'm sending my baby some new clothes. He documents so much shit in his life, right? You film yourself eating, you film yourself getting donations, you film yourself doing anything. I've never seen him film himself mailing a toy to his children, mailing clothing to his children, sending them money, going to a parent teacher conference, going to a birthday party. Well, everybody, I can't, make it to the Nat Turner event because my baby's graduating from the fourth grade and I can't make it. I'm going to be at the graduation. I ain't never heard it. I've never heard it. Well, I'm teaching I'm going to be, my daughter's, has a track meet this week, or she's playing basketball or whatever. She has a debate team meeting that I'm going to go. I'm going to go see her perform at. She's going to be in a play. You never hear him engaging with his children ever. I've never heard it. I've never heard like any real engagement with his children. I've heard him calling the babies baby Smurf and baby mama evil vegan and I had to sit on the couch. I don't want to be on the couch. Just an ornery piece of shit that's totally disengaged from these children. Not only disengaged from the children, but actively hurting the children by calling them out of their name and dehumanizing them, encouraging his sycophantic, disgusting, low IQ followers to go and harass the children, encourage them to do harm to themselves so he doesn't have to do it, outsourcing the dirty work to other people. What kind of psycho, what kind of fucking sick person sends people to hurt their own children? Because it's one thing to neglect your children. That's hurtful. It just, that's not good. It's one thing to hurt your children. To neglect them, to be absentee. But it's next level psychopathy to send people to hurt your children. That's just like unheard of in regular human shit. Regular humans don't do that. We get upset with our children. We be mad at our children. We might go off on them. We might punish them. We might, you know, be upset, but we're not sending people to hurt them. Not a real parent. Real parents don't do stuff like that.
Queens, one of y'all better bring me a pot of mac and cheese today. I'm talking to my Camden Queens. I'm talking to my South Jersey. I don't care if you Camden. I don't care if you Cherry Hill. I don't care if you Willingboro. I don't care if you Salem. I don't care if you Atlantic City. One of my beautiful African South Jersey queens better bring me a pot of mac and cheese. I'm not playing with you. I'm doing the free training. I want a pot of mac and cheese. I'm talking to my Jersey sisters one time. I'm talking to my Jersey sisters one time. I need a pot of mac and cheese, and then I need another one of my Jersey queens to bring me a pot of greens with the turkey juice and the turkey butts. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I works for the people. I struggle for the people. I fight for the people. I will die for the people. I need to be fed by the people. I said I work for the people. I struggle for the people. I live for the people. I fight for the people. And I better be fed by the people. I need a pot of greens with the turkey juice in the turkey butts. And then I need a pot of
But if you were a good family member, you would probably be able to go to Thanksgiving with your family and eat the greens and the macaroni and cheese and all of that. At Easter, Easter just passed. If you were a good family member, you would have already got all of those things within the family. You see, but you're just like such a ratchet outcast at this point because of your behavior that you have to resort to coming online to begging for food, and you have no shame. Zero. No shame at all. Too lazy to produce the entitlement. You feel like you're entitled to what's in people's refrigerator because you choose to come online and bitch and complain and disparage people on Instagram Live. And then sometimes you bitch and complain in person on the random rare events that you get to go to. And then you go to the trap bandos and you roam around aimlessly, picking up a few pieces of trash and painting things that have already been painting and wiping down things that have already been wiped down and in that abandoned building. And then you think because of those things that you're deserving of what's in people's pantries and refrigerators. And you're just like a bottomless pit of needs and wants and demands. You offer nothing, nothing of value, nothing that benefits anyone in the world. But you feel like you're going to ask for greens and hams. That's why I told y'all earlier. I said, women, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop because that is the reason why these types of entities continue the way they do, because they're being nourished and they're being like feeding this type of entity and supporting this type of entity, and you put your love in that pot of greens and you put your energy and your ancestral wisdom inside that pot of greens, and then you give it to bastards like this. It just gives him fuel to keep fucking up the community. I've dropped more f-bombs in this live, in this one live, than I probably have in the entirety of my entire channel. And it's probably because I'm just so disgusted with this guy.
candy yams, a small pot of candy yams. Oh, yes. Don't put no white man sugar in my yams. I don't do nothing white. I don't do anything pale, brothers and sisters. No
Beggars can't be choosers with your fat ass. The fuck? With your ratchet ass. Talking about don't put this and that and some greens that you didn't buy, bitch.
disrespect to Neanderthal Nation. I respect you. No disrespect to Caucasian Nation. I respect you. No disrespect to the Snow Bunny Brigade. I respect you, but I don't do anything pale. I don't do pale bread. I don't do pale sugar. I don't do pale flour. I said I don't do pale bread. I don't do pale sugar. I don't do pale flour, and I damn sure don't do pale vagina. No disrespect to Caucasian Nation. But I don't do
Food and sex. Food and sex are very intertwined. You can't see me right now, but I've got like my index finger wrapped around my middle finger, like intertwined. Food and sex almost always comes as a combination with this guy. If he's thinking about food, he's thinking about sex. If he's thinking about sex, he's thinking about food. And he goes back and forth in between the two. And that those two addictions are very commingled for this guy. His food addiction and overeating. And it's crazy because I don't think that I don't know that Umar knew that he had an eating disorder until we told him that he had an eating disorder. I don't know that he knew that I don't know if he knew that he had one. I don't know if he knew that because I think that for him it was just so normal to like binge eat the way he was. I don't. I think his mom probably binge ate. I think somebody in his household binge ate. I know his mom was a compulsive shopper, um, based off of what the nephew was talking about with them going to the thrift stores and all. Like his memories of his grandmother are all around shopping. That's it. You know, it's not like, yeah, she took me to the park, she took me to Disneyland, or we used to knit together, or we used to, um, watch the stories, or all of his memories are related to going to thrift stores and shopping and garage sales and stuff like that. And knowing how hoarded the house is, I'm like, okay, that makes sense that probably the mama was a compulsive shopper and also gambling. I think there's other people in the family that gambled. So Umar grew up in all of these different addictions and vices. So they were very like normal to him. But I don't think that he knew that he had an eating disorder until we started calling him out like, dude, you binge eat, and then like your food your eating seems very disordered. The obsession with it, the euphoria that you feel when like you get the types of food that you want, um, you're sort of like going overboard for the sweets. I mean, maybe that's also some diabetes, I don't know, but just like it's disordered eating. And I don't think he knew that he had a food disorder until he started listening to us tell him like, "Bro, you have a disorder." And then now he knows he does. He knows he does, because he'll allude to this later in the video.
Pale bread. I don't do pale sugar. I don't do pale flour, and I damn sure don't do pale vagina. But we gonna stay focused right now.
Okay, sorry. This is very interesting, and I've noticed that he does that a lot. Like Umar, it's very fascinating. He he knows that he goes off the rail. He knows that he discloses his various different dysfunctions, and um he reveals the inner workings of his demonic and depraved mind. But I believe that before he goes live, he talks himself up. He gives himself a pep talk, and he tells himself, Umar, you're going to stay on topic. Umar, listen, you're going to just talk about the school. Umar, you're just going to talk about whatever the topic. Umar, don't go crazy. Just promote your upcoming events. Stay on task. This is him talking to himself. He's trying to tell himself to stay on task. Only promote the schools. Don't get triggered. Don't go off the deep end. Don't spiral out of control. Don't crash out. He tells himself, don't crash out. Don't crash out. But he can't help himself. He cannot. He can't help himself. So he starts veering off into sex and food and veering off into whatever the case may be. And what he does, he'll say, stay focused, stay focused. That's him trying to coach himself back into what he originally wanted to do. But he's so compulsive and impulsive. And he's so inhibited. He doesn't have inhibitions. He's inhibited. Just like Trump. He spews out the inner workings of his depraved mind. And as his cognitive function starts to decline for whatever reason, Trump has dementia. I don't know what Umar's issue is. Maybe it's the substance abuse. I don't know. Maybe it's some having to do with aging. But he can't stop himself from revealing his true feelings and thoughts, which is sex and food, food and sex. He can't stop talking about it, and death, and annihilating others, and imprisoning others, and exploiting others. He just went through this whole fantasy that he has about imprisoning people and exploiting them.
We're going to stay focused right now.
Yeah, what he means is I need to stay focused.
We're going to stay focused right now because it is always consciousness over the cookies. It is always politics over the punani. It is always
See, okay, so when he does stuff like this, I liken this behavior to people who flash people in the street, people who shock people with a dick pic or something. Like you came on the live stream to hear about children. You came on, presumably, right? I mean, all of us come on here to clown him, but let's say you're an Umar supporter and you come on to talk about your child. Can you imagine? You go to your child's school, you have their report card, you have, you have an evaluation from the psychiatrist, you have a book that you just read, and you're trying to make sense of things, and you make an appointment with the principal. You want to talk to the principal, you want to discuss all these things. And so you arrived at the school, you have your materials, you're ready to engage about an educational plan for your child, what's going on, what testing is coming up. And the principal tells you, I have to put politics before the punani. I have to put, the consciousness before the coochie or whatever. I don't know what he says. Like, what would you do in that situation at the school? You would probably disenroll your child and file a complaint with the school board about that principal. You're like, what the fuck? I did not come here to be talking about punani and coochie and backshots. I came here to talk about education. But for Umar, they're very intertwined. That's why he talks about the principal's lounge and spanking mothers and spanking, secretaries and funny business going on at the school. And it's just all mixed up for him. It's like sex and children and education. It's all one conglomerate for him. He can't he can't compartmentalize his sexual life and keep it private for an intimate partner. He has to incorporate. It's just like he can't contain himself. He has no self-control. And that's what makes him so dangerous. Like, you can't get through this live stream. How many minutes are we in? We are how many minutes in?
revolution
Let me see.
over the road.
Okay, so we're about 14 minutes into this live stream. He had already coached himself about staying on topic. He had already coached himself about not veering off. He can't get through 15 minutes of this conversation without talking about sex. He's talked about pale vagina, consciousness over coochie, or whatever it is, politics over punani. He can't get through 15 minutes of this conversation without infusing sex into a conversation that is supposed to be uplifting. It's supposed to be not that sex is bad, but there's a time and there's a place for everything. And when you put yourself out into the world as a caregiver for children, it's very important that you keep your sex life private, you know, because you've chosen to enter into the public sphere as an advocate for children and as a caregiver for children. Um, so you need to keep your sex life private as so that it is not mixed in with what is for the children. Umar can't do that. So that makes me believe if there are children around him, what makes me think that he would restrain himself from being inappropriate? Because he hasn't proven that he has the ability to be appropriate for a long period of time. He can't even get through 15 minutes without being inappropriate. And I think that people like Umar, and Umar, he likes to shock people. It's like flashing them. It's like raping your ears because you didn't come here for that. Can you imagine? Right? You go to the library to like check out a book about cooking, or you check out a book about coding or gardening, and then somebody just like hands you a pornographic video, like what? Just to see the shock on your face, just to shock you and make you feel uncomfortable, or to like infuse it into the atmosphere so that everybody is more comfortable talking about sex, and then he can take things to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. This is like grooming behavior. Let me infuse and inject it into the conversation so that we can just keep going down that path, because that's where he wants to go. That's where he's most comfortable.
Man, it is always business before the bedroom. We must stay focused, brothers and sisters. We must stay focused, brothers and sisters. First of all, my daughter is not married. To my knowledge, she is not married. To my knowledge, I have a niece who may have went swimming in the milk. That is her business. I love her dearly. I don't agree with it. I don't condone of it. I don't approve of it, but that is her business. A man is responsible for his own actions. A man is responsible for his own actions. So if you want to go down the family tree and shake the family tree, all kind of snow bunnies going to fall out that family tree, but it ain't going to be a single bunny fall out of my tree. I'm going to say it again in case you didn't hear what I just said. I'm going to say it again in case you didn't hear what the Prince of Pan-Africanism just said, but I'm going to say it again for the Coon Nation. I'm going to say it again for the Coon Nation. If you shake that Johnson tree, if you shake that shoemake tree, a whole bunch of bunnies might fall out, but not a single bunny will fall out of the tree that I built. You understand me? A man is only responsible for himself.
But the thing about it is, it's like he hasn't created a tree. You've created broken homes. That's what you've created.
want to say this because I neglected to honor my beautiful African sisters today. So I want to send a peace and Pan-Africanism out to all my beautiful black sisters, especially with the natural hair. I love all black women, whether you got a blonde weave, a pink weave, a blue weave, a Jerry curl, a S curl, whether you're lesbian or bisexual or heterosexual. I love all black women. Understand, I love you all. But I want to give a special shout out to the ones who wear their own damn hair. Where my natural hair queens at? Where are my all natural head to toe queens at? No BBL, no fake eyelashes, no artificial breasts. Where are my all natural head to toe butter almonds at? Where my all natural head to toe hot chocolate at? Where my all natural head to toe sweet brown sugar? Where my all natural head to toe mixed race white chocolate queens at? Where my all natural head to toe nutmeg and cinnamon and butterscotch and mahogany? Oh yes, brothers and sisters.
Food and sex continuously mixing it together. And saying disrespectful things about people and saying, I mean no respect, Neanderthals. I mean no respect, you got a blonde weave. When it's like you have hours of documented disparagement of women that wear blonde weaves. I mean, hours of disparagement. You can't get on here and then 5 seconds be like, I mean no harm. You've already done the harm. You've already said what you said. Stand on it. Like, just like that's the thing about these guys, like this personality type. They can't stand 10 toes in what they say and do and be accountable for it. Like, at least if you're going to do wrong, like, stand in it. Like, yeah, I don't like like, if you don't like them, then just don't like them and, like, be done with it. But the irritating part about it is I don't mean no disrespect, but and then here comes the disrespect. Very infuriating and annoying.
You like BBLs? That ain't nothing but a big blueberry lemonade. I had a blueberry smoothie this morning. You like BBLs? That ain't nothing but a big blueberry lemonade. I had a blueberry smoothie this morning. I love all black women. I love you all. All of you can come to my events. All of you can come to the Hampton Juneteenth, the Dothan. All of you can come to the training today in Camden, New Jersey from 4 to 8. All of you can come to the training today in Camden, New Jersey from 4 to 8. It's absolutely free. I don't care if you got a wig or a weave or a jerry curl. I just give a special, special, special type of a love to the sisters who said, I'm not going to imitate white folks. I'm not going to imitate Caucasian standards of beauty. I'm not going to let the white man dictate what beauty is in my life. That's all I'm saying. Have I ever been on a date with a woman with
The thing about it is, it doesn't matter. I was saying this years ago. Umar came to my city and the adjacent city next to me and ran through all kinds of women, caused all kinds of problems, women who had been friends for years and decades falling out, just a bunch of drama because of him. He brings chaos wherever he goes. At that time, this was probably around 2023, 20, excuse me, this was around 2013, 2014, somewhere around that area. And at that time, he was really traveling. I mean, he was traveling a lot and he had met every type of black woman at this point. Educated, PhD, hood, skater girls, punk girls, rock girls, R&B blues girls, gardening girls, horticulture girls, um, you know, black women scientists, writers, poets, conscious, Moorish, Muslim, Christian, Hotep, everything. You have met hundreds, thousands of black women. None of them are good enough to marry. None of them are good enough to settle down with. You just don't want to be married and just say it. And at the same time, thank God. Hallelujah. Because whatever woman is his wife is going to be miserable and maybe unalived. So I'm not wishing him to have a wife. I don't think he deserves a wife. He needs to just relieve himself into a drain. I don't think he needs a wife. I don't think anybody needs to be cooking him any greens, any macaroni, any turkey, none of that. He should be eating takeout dinners in a holding cell or something. But I'm just saying that to say that none of these women were qualified. Like, none of them were qualified. None of them were good enough. None of them. Of the thousands of women that he's met and the hundreds that he's had relationships with, hundreds at this point. I don't know if I'll get into the thousands, but at least it's to be hundreds at this point. He used to have multiple women in each city. And he would, at least when he came around my region, he would, like, let's say he would come in for the weekend. So it would be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's say he did a lecture Friday night, he did something during the day, then he did a lecture Saturday night, then he would leave on Sunday. He would try to set it up to where, like, he could stay with one woman on Friday, another woman on Saturday, another woman on one woman on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, leave out, or try to stay until Monday and leave out, and then, like, do all this shit again the next weekend. And it's like, these women live in the same fucking city. Do you think that they're not going to put two and two together? Of course they are. And it just creates drama and chaos. But the truth of the matter is like, no, you're just a sex addict. You like cookies all the time in all varieties of ways, and you have no interest in monogamy. You have no interest in settling down. So when you say things like, I love women with natural hair, you don't. You fetishize women with natural hair. Or you could say that you weaponize hair in general. You weaponize hair and color and features to create dissension among women. We should have another conversation. We should have another conversation about sisterhood on another day, not tonight. But we should, because males like Umar make so much drama and chaos within the sisterhood. And if you don't have a strong sisterhood, men like this can just make the community a lot weaker. We as women need each other. We need to rely on each other. We need to trust each other, have each other's back, hold each other accountable, all of that good stuff. And Umar and men like him, they use your body shape. Oh, well, you're 5'5" and thick in the thighs. Oh, well, you got a flat booty. Oh, you got the natural hair. Oh, you got the blonde weave. Oh, but you caramel delight. Oh, but you chocolate and da-da. It's just to make dissension among women. Everyone's entitled to their preferences, but when you weaponize featureism, colorism, and texturism into it, you're not expressing a genuine um he's not expressing a genuine desire or a genuine attraction, because he's all over the fucking place. He will deal with any orifice, male, woman, trans, whatever. Any orifice will do with this guy. So that's not what it's about. It's about making you feel insecure about whatever package you come in. If you got the blonde weave, but you got the flat booty, or you got the Coke bottle shape, but you got the natural hair, or you're too dark, or you're this or that, it's just fucking insane to to use texturism and the featureism and the colorism and all of that to separate women and have women looking at other women sideways, or looking at other women like, oh, well, I've got this, but you don't. It just makes jealousy and division. It's not good for the children, because we need each other to co raise these children and bring them up in a safe environment. It's not good for sisterhood. And it allows males like Umar to come in and manipulate off a very superficial dumb shit. Meanwhile, he is he is not going to commit to anybody. So you're going to sell your sister down the river. He's going to float through town, and you're going to be left in the community with your sister and these damn kids. And we got to figure this shit out. You understand? Cuz he's going to be going on to the next city. He's a rolling stone. He's a rolling stone. He's going to be on to the next. Not just him, but males like him. So you got to see it for what it is. So when he says, I love women with natural hair, what he's saying is, I lust after. You got to translate it for him. You got to hear what he's saying, but translate what he's really saying. I lust after women with natural hair. I lust. Not love, lust. I lust after women with natural hair. And I'm never going to marry any of yous. And by the way, I'm also not marriage material. I'm not husband material, and I'm not father material. Honestly, I should just get a vasectomy and just go live on an island somewhere and just stop hurting people, but I will never do that. So long as you let me in between your legs and in your house and in your kitchen and on your couch, I will drain you for everything that you have. I will drain, I will extract, I will use, I will abuse, I will exploit so long as you allow it. If you let me in, I will drain you completely dry.
With a weave. Yes, I have. I have. The reason I've been on a date with a woman with a weave is you got to give women an opportunity to change. But I will not marry a woman with a weave. I promise you that.
Bitch, you're not gonna marry nobody. You're not marriage material. You're not husband material. You're 50 fucking 1 years old, ho, and you ain't never been married. You told your pregnant fiance or your pregnant ex woman who was a fucking teenager when you met her, and your big grown graduate school ass preying upon a fucking freshman. You told her when she got pregnant that you would consider it one day maybe if she proves herself. You're never getting married. And then you went on this whole diatribe about how women try to trap you. Uh, how women think that because they become pregnant that they're entitled to marriage. You are the most anti-marriage, anti-family, anti-child entity in the Black community. You have 1,000 reasons why people don't need to build solid families. You talk about you shit on the homeschool. Y'all, I'll be honest with y'all. He shitted on homeschools when he came to my city. When I tell you, okay, so he's given his little spiel, and then he threw that little, this was around 2013, 2014, somewhere around that time. He threw that little line in there. You know how he always takes shots at homeschool. I kid you not, about half the people there were homeschoolers. I mean, I knew some of them. Some of them I didn't know, but I could tell, like, because they were talking to other homeschoolers that I did know. So I just assumed they were in the homeschool community. Because these people, when they, at least in my city, the homeschoolers, they get together, they all know each other because they go to the library together, they go to field trips together, they do sports, stuff like that. So a lot of them know each other. They also do co-ops, where let's say this family, the dad is real good at math, and then this family, the mama is real good at science experiments and science. They will be like, okay, so okay, you do the math lesson, okay, you do the science. They cooperate with each other like that. So like half these people are homeschoolers. He threw that little line in there where he shit talked the homeschoolers. He was like, I don't want no homeschool. I don't want to be in your basement, be in your living room. That ain't no school. He lost everybody. It went from, when people are engaged and like, yeah, yeah, uh-huh, yeah, brother, mm-hmm, teach, brother. They went from that to you could hear a pin drop when he shitted on the homeschools. Everybody was just like looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? And then he switched, he pivoted. He was like, "Oh well, I mean, yeah, homeschools, they can do what they do, but I'm just trying to do what I'm doing." And then he and everybody, okay, they got back with him, they got back with him, but he lost everybody for a moment because he shitted on homeschool. He shitted on homeschool back in 2013, 2014 in person. And he has continued to shit on homeschools. But homeschool, what does that represent? Family. That's the children with the parents as a unit. He is very anti family. He wants to separate parents from the children. He wants to take your children, sequester them in the FDMG internment camp in his none of this shit is ever happening. But in the fantasy in his mind, the children are there Monday through Friday, after school, Saturday school, sometimes Sunday school, mandatory vacations. this guy, mandatory vacations, mandatory family cookouts. Like the thing about it, Umar, if you would be with your own fucking family, you wouldn't have to steal other people's kids and make them be in your family barbecue. That's never gonna happen. If you would just like be with your family, if you weren't so fucking dysfunctional and you can go to your own family cookouts. That's why he's always talking about what y'all we're gonna go on a vacation and we're gonna have a FDMG cookout and we're gonna have y'all gonna come to Saturday. Like all of these are fantasies of like his distorted view of like what family life could be. Because I at this point I think that family life for him is very foreign. It's like what it's been him and his mama like trapped in that Section 8 house that nobody can come into, the niece can't visit, the nephew can't visit, the steps, the siblings, her other children. It's just him and the mama, and like that's not a full family life. The mama can't get out and get some fresh air. She can't go to physical therapy. She can't take a real bath. It's just crazy. But let me tell y'all, okay, we're gonna get into it in the video. But I think what kicked all of this off, this particular line of thought with Umar, I think that either A, he's already been kicked out of that house. Um, Maybe the other family members have found a way to involve the authorities, the proper agencies, and things like that to get him out of that house to where the mama can have access to other family members, or they're close to it and they've threatened him and like he's on his way up out of the mama's house. And you're going to listen, like you'll hear it as he kind of gets into his rhetoric later.
I will not marry a woman with a weave, I promise you that.
He won't marry anybody.
If she ain't happy to be nappy, if she ain't happy to be nappy, we cannot jump the broom, brothers and sisters. We cannot jump the broom, but make sure you hit that PayPal for the school right now. What's happening with FDMG? What's happening with FDMG is we waiting for an inspection that we should have already gotten from our building inspector who does not care for me. We're waiting for an inspection that we should have already got from our building inspector who doesn't care for me. We're waiting for an inspection.
This guy's such a fucking liar. I mean, like I've had two different brick and mortar businesses. Um, I've had two different brick and mortars, and everything is so transactional. The thing about the thing about building inspectors is they're incentivized to actually for you to pass, to be honest with you. And the reason why they're incentivized for you to pass is because it's revenue for the city or for the county, whatever municipality you're in. It's a revenue for them. It's also, they don't like vacant buildings. No city inspector, no city manager, mayor, county official, they don't want abandoned buildings. They want businesses inside. Um, they want businesses operational. So they're incentivized for you to pass. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to pass you when you really don't pass, but they're going to tell you promptly exactly what you need to do. Um, and they're going to try to work with you so that you can get it done. So let's say like you're somewhere and different departments like fire will do, I mean every municipality is different. I could just tell you about my experience. Like the fire marshal does their thing, um the code enforcement does their thing, health people, the ones that, you know, but sometimes like if you're not dealing with food or something like that, sometimes they don't come. But even still, like sometimes the health people will come to verify that, okay, you're not dealing with food, or if you're dealing with food, then you have safe, your cold food is cold, your hot food is staying at the right temperature, you're not mixing raw meat with vegetables and whatever the case may be. So if, for example, like the fire department, they want everything to be labeled properly. Like on the outside of the building, they want to be able to see the address. They want the address to match with what's inside of the map information. That way, if there's ever a fire or an emergency and they needed to get to your building, that the building is labeled, numbered properly, they can get there and it corresponds to what the information is. So if the map says, 4298, you know, Spruce Street, but your building, the four is missing, and it's like just the last three digits, Spruce Street, they're not gonna pass you, because if there was an emergency, uh, they couldn't find the building. So it's little things like that. So they're gonna tell you exactly like, hey, you need to put a four right here. We need to see the entire address so that we can pass you. And then they'll give you like, I'll come back next week. They'll tell you literally, I'm gonna come back in 7 days, and like, can you have it done by then? You say yes or no. Yeah, I'll have it done. They say, okay, I'll come back in 7 days. And then you get your little paint, you put the four out there, and then now it's visible. And then they're like, great, you pass. Like, this conspiracy that he's making up that the building inspector doesn't like him is fucking baloney, because everything is trackable. Because if like the building inspector, it's like an open ticket. When you ask for, everything's done by electronic shit. It's not like in Umar's head to where it's just like a conspiracy and like all these people doing what they want and just a bunch of bullshit. It's just a fucking ticket. When you go onto the city's website and you request inspection, it opens up a ticket. And when that ticket gets open, there's multiple agencies that get assigned to that ticket, and they work it through the system. There's not one person that can stop that process. Now, Umar is the big impediment because he never filed a ticket to open up the inspection because he's a fucking liar. He's a lying. This mythical person that's supposedly, ooh, an evil person stopping the inspection, you're fucking lying, bro. It don't work like that. These people at the city don't want the building to be abandoned. They want people in the building because it brings down crime, it helps the community. They want every storefront filled with a business. They want every building to be occupied. It's revenue for the city. It brings down crime. There's hopefully not going to be, hopefully the property owners will maintain the property, help to keep track, because anything that is not privately maintained falls on the government, falls on the city, it falls on the municipality. And I can promise you they don't want more work. They want less work. They want the private citizens, the business owners, to be inside of these buildings, operating businesses, viable businesses. They have every incentive to pass your inspection. And whatever it is that you're lacking, they will make it clear to you what is needed and what you need to do. And then you take that information, you take it to your peoples, and then you fix it. And then you have them come back out and see if it's been done. But this guy's so fucking delusional, such a liar. He's so incompetent. He's never opened up a building, a brick and mortar. He doesn't have any experience, so he thinks that he can say whatever bullshit out of his mind, and he thinks that everybody's just going to believe him because in his mind, in his fantasy world, nobody's ever opened up a business. Nobody's ever had a black owned business before, and he's the first. But with all black money. In fact, I did it before. I serve like 98% black people. So that's all black people's money. So you're not the first to do it, and I'm not the first to do it. There's been millions of people that have done it before us, and there will be millions more. It's not that fucking complicated. It's really not. I mean, it's complex, but if you can diligently work at it every day, you can get it done and you can make progress. But the problem is you never applied, and you want to think that everybody is uneducated and ignorant, and that we're just going to believe what you say, and that none of us have experience opening up businesses to know what the process of an inspection entails. And anybody can just go online and find out what to do to get it done. This guy is just so illiterate. Like, he thinks that everything, he's so entitled, like everybody owes him. You're gonna call the gas company. Well, my name is Umar, and you need to extend my billing cycle because my name is Umar. And I'm like, I'm opening up a school for kids. Okay, well, okay, the Pope can call. I mean, he ain't gonna get no extension. What the fuck makes you think you're gonna get a goddamn extension? What makes you think that people are gonna hold your hand and guide you through like you are 12 years old? When you are the big giant age of 51 and you cannot figure out anything for yourself. You cannot see yourself out of a paper bag.
Inspection that we should have already got, our final building inspection, brothers and sisters. We should have already got it. The school is ready and waiting. What is the holdup? We're looking into it right now. What is the holdup? We're looking into it right now.
Who is we?
You didn't see me in Honey Grow, although I eat Honey Grow. You never saw me in Honey Grow because I've never been to Honey Grow. There's a lot of Dr. Umar lookalikes in the black community. There's a lot of Dr. Umar lookalikes in the black community. No, you can mail a check, P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware. You can mail a check, P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware. You can mail a check, P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware. Payable to the FDMG Academy. There's a lot of Dr. Umar lookalikes in the black community, brothers and sisters. But sisters, would you please tell them I cannot be duplicated? Where my beautiful African queens at? Let these brothers know. You could get your hair cut like me. You could throw the dashiki on. Would you let them know, sisters, there's only one King Kong? There's only one King Kong. Sisters, would you tell them it's only one King Kong consciousness? Prince of Pan-Africanism. Brian certified, you a certified coon. I'm blocking your bitch ass. Excuse my language. I hate when men hate on other men. That's a low self-esteem coon disease.
Umar spends most of his life hating on other men. So, okay.
I hate when men hate on other men. That's a low self-esteem coon disease, brothers and sisters. I want to speak to black women for a minute. And I'm dead serious. I'm hanging up in 9 minutes. It's 2:51. I got to get to my training in Camden, New Jersey at 3901 Westfield Avenue. Who's coming out today? 3901 Westfield Avenue. If you need to bring the children, bring the children. If you need to bring the elders, bring the elders. My college students, my education majors, my psychology majors, my social work majors, my criminal justice majors, my psychiatry majors, you need to come on out to 3901 Westfield Avenue in Camden, New Jersey today from 4 until 8 because I'm teaching. We having a freedom school teaching with Dr. Umar Ifatunde. We having a freedom school teaching with Dr. Umar Ifatunde because yesterday was the anniversary of SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, the most revolutionary college organization in American history. I said yesterday was the anniversary of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. That's the date they was founded on, the most revolutionary black college organization in history. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. H. Rap Brown, rest in peace. Kwame Ture, rest in peace. Yes. Yes, brother. Fannie Lou Hamer, rest in peace. Yes. Empress K 333, how you doing? Empress K 333, how you doing? Baby Smurf, I see you. Still waiting to meet you, Baby Smurf. It's been over a year.
Yeah, so that's him dehumanizing his daughter. I'm assuming his daughter, he sees his daughter on the live and he says, I'm still waiting to meet you in a year. Um, I should probably do a separate video. And in fact, yeah, I had it in my mind to do a separate video to for the daughter and any other woman whose father is a psychopath. Because there's a certain way, there are some healing modalities and some like thought, um, not thought patterns, but basically like thought processes and understandings that you will need to have in order to survive having a psychopath or a sociopath as a father. I know because I have a sociopath for a father. So I have a lot of experience with that. And I know how to deal with it. So I can share what I know for other young women um, who find themselves in that situation, so that you can get through it. Yeah, but going on your dad's live, your biological father's live, for him to further dehumanize you, it will result in the predictable behavior.
Still waiting to meet you, Baby Smurf. It's been over a year. Sister KJ, what's going on? Sister KJ45, what's going on? My South Africans, where y'all at? I love South Africa. Sabona. I love my South Africa. Where my Zulu queens at? And my Xhosa queens? And my Khoi queens? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. My Ethiopian family. You know I love me some Ethiopian food. Where my Ethiopian queens at? My Eritrean queens, my Gambian, my Zambian, my Nigerian, my Togolese, my Benin, my Liberian, my Mozambique, my Angola, my Lesotho, my Basutu queens, my Jamaican and my Haitian and my Puerto Rican African queens, my Dominican African queens, my Cuban African queens, my Costa Rica queens, my Brazilian queens, my Jersey queens, my New York queens, my PA queens, my Carolina queens, my Tennessee and Texas and Arkansas, Alabama, my Phoenix, my Minnesota, my Des Moines, my Missouri queens. King Kong is in the building. Shout out to all the unapologetically African alpha males, my Congo queens. I owe Congo a special visit because I had to cancel on y'all last year. That hurt my heart. I had to cancel. That was the centennial of the Honorable Patrice Lumumba's birthday, the independence. I missed out on that. Congo government bought the flight and everything, and I couldn't go. I need another invitation. Congo, I'm coming. I got Congolese ancestry. I'm coming. I got Cameroon ancestry. I'm coming. I'm a citizen of Ghana, and I have Ghana ancestry. I'm coming. I got Benin and Togo and Cote d'Ivoire ancestry. I'm coming. My Georgia queens, Jabrika '08. But I want to say this to black women. I got 6 minutes. Don't you ever contemplate taking your life. Y'all hear me, sisters? Suicide. Black men and black women. We got to stop the suicide. I need you to hear me when I tell you this. I'm dead serious right now. If you need to reach me, 215-989-9858, text only. If you need to reach me, 215-989-9858, text only. If you need to reach me, 215-989-9858, text only. I like the idea, Precocia. I like that idea. Get at me. There is a suicide demon floating around the black community. There is a suicide demon that is trying to claim the lives of black women who have great divine missions. Listen to me. If you are being tempted by the demon of suicide to take your life, it's because you are important to the destiny of African people. I want you to understand, overstand, and understand what I'm saying right now. I want you to understand, overstand, and understand what I'm saying right now. If you are being harassed by the suicide demon, it's because you have a calling so great that the forces of evil cannot allow you to hang around to fulfill your sacred mission. Those who get tempted with suicide are some of God's most special people. You have to fight that demon. Don't you give into it. See, the demons of suicide like to play on your mind. The demons of suicide like to play on your psyche. The demons of suicide like to play with your emotions. And what they do is they harass you with negative emotion. They harass you with depression. They harass you with anger. They harass you with desperation. They harass you with failure. And they manipulate your emotions so much. And they manipulate your mind so much that they convince your mind that your emotions are so overwhelmingly powerful and unhealable. This is how they get you. This is how the demon of suicide gets you. They manipulate your mind into thinking that your emotions are real. Your emotions came from within you. It's not what happened to you, it's how you are processing it. Your emotions are your own inventions. Let me say that again. Your emotions are your own inventions. We create happiness. We create sadness. We create depression. We create miserability. All emotions come from the inside. This is Pastor Papa talking to you right now. This is Pastor Prince of Pan-Africanism. So if they come from inside you, if you created those negative emotions, you can destroy them as well. That's the message from the Almighty. If you created your negative emotions, you can destroy your negative emotions. Don't you ever let something you created make you think it's more powerful than you. Don't you?
I think this is interesting way his mind thinks. Like negative emotions need to be destroyed. He's not thinking about processing them. He's not thinking about working through them or resolving them or exploring them. He just said they need to be destroyed. And I think that that's how he thinks. Like very surface level and reactionary. He's not a deep person. I don't think he has like I don't know what happened to his soul. I don't know if he was born with it and he lost it or if he wasn't born with I don't know. But just very vacant inside. Vacant, hollow, shallow, and unable to provide advice to anybody. Um, if someone is experiencing negative emotions, the solution is not always. I don't think the solution is ever to just try to destroy those negative emotions. I think that there could be a variety of responses or solution or not solutions, but rather pathways to come to some inner peace if experiencing negative emotions. Another thing about real humans, and the more matriarchal you are in your thinking, is the more you're okay with a variety of state of being as a human. Um, human uh, around like the matriarchal mindset and um, a really like a universal way of thought is like it's okay to be sad sometimes. It's okay to be angry. Anger is a natural part of the human experience. Sadness is a natural part. Grief, joy, um, longing, envy, contentment. Um, there's just a lot of different emotions associated with the human experience. And the more matriarchal you are in your thoughts, the more okay you are with just being and allowing those things to be and not feeling like you have to do anything about it besides observing it and letting it pass. Because if the sadness or anger or other negative emotion is feeling disruptive to your life, then there might be other things you can do about them, like journaling, talking to someone, asking yourself, what is this anger telling me? Like, why am I angry about this? Or or envy or jealousy. Like, man, I felt really very jealous about this, or I felt envy towards da 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 da. Well, really, I want that, and like I want that, and then I have a way that I can use my talents and my own um intuitive and intrinsic gifts to bring forth something for myself. And then the envy can fade. Once you kind of explore the envy and what is behind it, then it can fade. And usually behind anger is like you're really hurt. And then, like, okay, well, why am I hurt? Do I need to explore? Do I need to connect with the person? Do I need to express my needs? Do I need to find a way to meet you like it it leads to questions, and then you can figure out what's going on. Not just destroy it. This guy is so rudimentary. I mean, and people would pay him for a consultation, I would think not.
Ever let something that you created, don't you ever let something that you created make you think it's more powerful than you. Your emotions are your babies. Your emotions are your babies, created from your mind to work against you. A negative emotion is a self-curse. I'm going to say it again. A negative emotion is a self-curse. You are
This guy, this is just giving you insight in how he thinks. He thinks in terms of cursed, good, bad, very, very binary thinking. There's no nuance with this guy. Um, if someone is, let's say someone, even friend to friend, so your friend comes to you and they are distraught, they are, you know, troubled because they're experiencing some negative thoughts or negative emotions. Let's say they're grieving the loss of somebody or the loss of a job, a loss of a house, a loss of a car. They're grieving, um, they're angry about a promotion they didn't get, and they're sad about whatever. So they're having all these emotions, and they come to another friend for comfort, for support, or to just have somebody bear witness to what's going on in their life. And the friend says, "You're cursed. You're cursing yourself." You see what I'm like? How helpful is that? It's amazing that people let anything come out of Umar's mouth, and they're just so used to hearing the most outrageous shit that they let things slide. But if you say exactly what he's saying and let it come out of somebody else's voice, or write it down what he's saying, if your friend comes to you who's distressed, tell them that they're cursed. Then you can see how absurd what he is saying is. If it's in like another medium, you know, in a different voice, but saying the exact same thing, then you can see the absurdity more clearly.
cursing yourself when you are repetitively sad. You are cursing yourself when you are repetitively angry. You are
Repetitively sad might be depression or grief and may need certain types of supports that would be relevant to that person. Doesn't mean that they're cursing themselves.
cursing yourself when you are repetitively depressed. You are cursing yourself when you keep on saying, I can't improve my life. That's not a fact. Prove to me you can't improve your life. But what you need to understand is when you say it, you curse yourself. And when you say it over and over again, not only are you cursing yourself, you are programming your unconscious to execute the curse. Not only are you cursing yourself, you are programming your unconscious to execute the curse upon yourself. And then you say it must be the devil. Let me tell you this about the spirits of evil. In Ifa, we don't believe in a supreme evil being, so there's no devil per se, but there are spirits of adversity. And the word devil, the original word for devil, when you translate it from the original language in which the Bible was written, it means adversary. The word Satan means adversary. And in Ifa, we believe in the adversarial spirits. They exist. They are here to detour you from your destiny, the adversaries. That adversary of anger, that adversary of depression, that adversary of suicide. It is here to detour you from your destiny. If you create
I think those are all things that Umar's dealing with. Anger, what I don't know what the other thing he said, and suicidal ideation. Those are things that he's grappling with. And so, anger, maybe, I think he said anger, sadness, and suicidal ideation. Those are all things that Umar's going through. He's trying to minister to himself by screaming into his phone into the abyss.
created the negative emotion, you can eliminate it. But you're not going to be able to eliminate those curses if you keep hanging around people who support your self-cursing. Some of y'all got brothers and sisters who support your self-cursing. They help you stay angry. They help you stay negative. They help you stay depressed. They help you stay suicidal. Yes. It might be your wife. It might be your husband. It might be your fiance. It might be your best friend. It might be a coworker. Stay away from people who have negative thoughts about you, because they are cursing you as you curse yourself.
And I think that what he's saying when he's like, stay away from people who have negative thoughts about you, I think that people are talking to Umar. And I do have this theory that his family kicked him out of that mama's closet in the mama's house. And they're coming to Umar and they're saying, Umar, you have an addiction issue. You need to go to get treatment. Umar, you're gambling too much. You need to save your money. Umar, um, we're embarrassed. You talking about this school, and there is no school, and we're embarrassed, and we want you to stop this scam. We just want you to get a regular job. Umar, the house is a mess. You need to clean it up. You know, mama is can't be in this sick environment. Like, these are people around Umar who have genuine um feedback and feelings about their experience of him. But he's so binary, and the pendulum it swings from one side. Either you're sycophantic and you worship him, and that's the only way he can have you in his life. There's only two slots for existence in Umar's life. You can worship him, or you're an adversary. Those are the two options. You can't be associates. You can't be friendly neighbors. You can't kind of know him. You can't be cool. You can't be colleagues. You can't do a project together and like that has a start and a finish, and then we go our separate ways. He doesn't do that. You can't be on the board of directors with him because he won't create a board of directors. You can't be an employee because he won't hire anybody. You can't be a co-director because he won't allow anybody to do anything. There are two options. Either you can worship him or you're an adversary. Those are the only choices. Whoever is around him has approached him probably with honest feedback about their experience of him, about what they're observing, and what their requests and or demands are about him, possibly putting up boundaries, etc., maybe regulating what's going on over there at the mama house. He experienced all of that conversation, whether it was one or multiple, as you hate me, you're against me, you're trying to kill me, you're an adversary. He's unable to process any level of feedback or criticism or response, listening, just bearing. He's unable to do that. Completely incapable.
Self. I don't want to be around nobody who don't like me. I don't want them coming to my lectures. I don't want them coming to nothing. I don't want to be around forces of evil. I don't want to be.
People who don't like you are not necessarily forces of evil. Sometimes people just don't like you and don't fuck with you, but that doesn't mean necessarily that they're a force of evil. And everybody in normal society knows how to function with people that don't like you or that you don't like them. We do it all the time. Most people who have a regular job, they don't like everybody at their job, but they go to work every day and they get their job done. They may not like their supervisor. They may not like their boss. They may not like their supervisee, whatever. But they go to work and they get their job done. You might not like your neighbor. That doesn't mean you're going to move houses necessarily. You might not like this, that, or the third, but you get through it. He doesn't have the skills to get through a nuanced relationship. Like, okay, this person is not a sycophant worshiping me. They're just willing to like do this one project with me. Okay, no, you're out. That's why he can never do a deal that requires something of him. He is unable to do that. Like, okay, I want to give you these desks, and then you pay half the gas, and then you get the truck. I'll pay half the gas, and I'll bring the truck as far as I can, and then we'll both do our part. No. The only thing Umar can accept is you pay all the gas. You pay all the you bring it to my door, you install it, you unload it, you hire the help, you do everything, and then you give me all the glory and all the credit for it. And do all of this for free. You see, he's not able to do the halfway thing, halfway. Everybody who's ever offered him anything halfway or anything that required him to put skin in the game, to put money in the game, he always bails on them. Years and years and years ago, there was somebody that had took off time from their job and was putting together an HVAC team to come over and like fix his HVAC. All he needed was for Umar to pull the permits. Umar wouldn't pull the permits and ghosted the guy and then blocked him. So if you're following up with him, like, hey, what about the HVAC? Hey, what about this? Hey, did you ever hear back? Did you get the thing from the city? Hey, I'm ready to go. Hey, I need to book my ticket. Did you hear back? Umar will block you and then be like, you're a hater and a coon. Why? For following up? Hater and a coon for following up? But that's the type of shit he does. He'll tell you, oh, yeah, I'm going to refund you the money for the speaking engagement that I couldn't attend. Okay, cool. Thank you, brother. You follow up. Hey, here's my information for the payment. Hey, where's the payment? Hey, I'm ready for the payment. He'll block you and then call you a coon. And then do a live stream about all the coons in his life.
Around adversarial spirits, and you shouldn't want to be around adversarial spirits. Don't you let no spirit you created manipulate your mind into thinking your pain is unbearable. You want to talk about pain? You think your pain is something, don't you? You think your pain is something. What about the pain of our ancestors? Imagine somebody defecating in your mouth. Imagine some.
Now, where did that come from? This is the depravity of Umar's mind. Maybe he was watching porn or something. Maybe he was watching AI porn or real porn. I don't know. And he saw that recently. Because the thing about him, like even with Trump, Trump is going to spew out the last thing he did. He's not like a 3 months ago type of guy. He's like a 3 minutes ago type of guy. Whoever is the last person that talked to Trump, that's what he believes. So he just talked to Zoran Mandami. He loves Zoran Mandami. Zoran Mandami is the best man since sliced bread. He loves him. He talks to Rudy Giuliani. He hates Zoran Mandami. Zoran Mandami is a communist that's going to fuck up New York and bring it all down. It's whoever the last person that talked to them. It's like in and then out. In my mind and then out of my mouth. And they'll just spew it out like vomit. So for Umar to say what he just said leads me to believe he was engaging with content similar to what he just said, or he was having some ideation about what he just said. That is not a random thing that normal people say in normal conversation on a day to day. It's very bizarre.
Somebody violating your wife in front of your face. Imagine being pregnant and still have to work out on the fields. Imagine somebody unaliving your child in front of your face because you don't want to give it away. You don't know pain until you know the pain of our ancestors. And no matter what you've been through, African, no matter what you've been through, African, nothing you are going through, have been through, will go through, can begin to compare to what our ancestors went through. You ain't seen pain until you seen the pain of our ancestors. You haven't known pain until you've known the pain of our ancestors. So when you think you are at your last, I want you to close your eyes and think of a Harriet Tubman. When you think you at your last, I want you to close your eyes and think of a Nat Turner. When you think you at your last, I want you to close your eyes and think of a Sojourner Truth or a Booker T. Washington. I want you to close your eyes and think of a Ida B. Wells. You think of the enslaved ancestors in your own lineage. When you get down, you remember those who suffered and went through an undescribable, unbearable, unmerciful pain so you could be here today. So you mean to tell me your ancestors went through a hell that no dictionary can describe? Your ancestors went through a hell that no encyclopedia can describe. Your ancestors went through a hell that no museum can accurately articulate. And they went through that hell so we could be here today. And you mean to tell me after your ancestors went through a hell that no other people have ever faced, so that you can be here? You would try to take your life when you haven't been through half of what they've been through? Stop cursing yourself with negative emotions. Stop believing your negative emotions. Your mind is not your friend. Your soul is your friend. Your mind is not your friend. Your mind is a computer that was programmed by your parents, your family, your peers, and the white man. And your mind will produce thoughts and encourage emotions that are largely influenced by the programming of your mother, your father, your family, and your society. So if your mother and your father were not psychologically and spiritually healthy, your mind is probably not psychologically and spiritually healthy. If the society you live in is not psychologically and spiritually healthy, your mind is probably not psychologically and spiritually healthy. If your extended family, your aunts and uncles and cousins and nieces and nephews and your church and your masjid and your temple, if they were not spiritually healthy in childhood, you're probably not spiritually healthy. Don't you go around believing everything your mind tells you. Your mind is a computer that generates thoughts, ideas, and emotions from the content programmed into it while you were a child. Use your mind to solve problems. Your mind is for the use of practical problem solving. You use your mind to solve problems in the real world. You don't use your mind to solve spiritual problems. You have to go to the soul for that. Stop listening to your mind when it gives you advice about spiritual issues. Your mind cannot give you advice about spiritual issues because your mind is the kingdom of the ego, and the ego only care about problems and victories. Your ego only cares about problems and victories. That's why all day long, all you thinking about is problems and victories. The bills you gonna pay, the woman your husband sleeping with, the man your girlfriend sleeping with, problems. And you think about what?
This is him obsessing about his exes. He's worried about who they're sleeping with. Excuse me. I told y'all he experienced big injuries when women started to leave the harem, and especially when Lene left him. He experienced a huge loss, a huge narcissistic injury when she left him. And he obsesses about it. He obsesses about the mother of his children, those women, all three of them, especially the first two. He obsesses about them incessantly. And you'll notice that when he was talking about when his adult daughter, she's an adult now. Like she can interact with him as an adult. He said, "Well, I won't meet with you unless you bring your mother. We'll all sit down and have lunch." Like, who wants to go on that lunch? I can't imagine anybody saying, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, me. I want to go to lunch with Umar." With his, I don't think the child's mother wanted to do that, so they turned that down. Or I don't know, didn't pursue it, whatever. But that's how he is. He made it contingent. Like he wouldn't, he wasn't willing to meet with the daughter on her own as an adult. He said, "I'll take you and your mama Smurf out to lunch." First, like who wants to go somewhere with someone who dehumanizes them? We're almost done with this video, and now it's really getting into the meat of it too. But I'm sleepy, so I'm gonna go to sleep, and I will come back tomorrow at some point in time. I will come back tomorrow, and we will finish this video. Let's see, where are we at? What time frame? Okay, we're at about the 37-minute mark of this video. So tomorrow I'll try to just start right there and then dig in dig into the rest of the video. All right, I'm about to hit this pillow, and I'm sure I'm gonna drift right into dreamland. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you'll see when I go live about the rest of this video tomorrow, and other times when I go live and drop new content, you'll be notified. Thanks so much for tuning in. Peace and love.